The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone and welcome to Embrace Your Power. Tonight I have a special guest. Her name is Misty Tripoli and she is an amazing woman. You know, she's always loved movement and dance, and she had this amazing experience where, you know, she went through so much. She became severely bulimic and she was overworked and she just ended up cracking. And at that time, when that happened to her, you know, she decided to do something different with her life. She created this movement called the World Groove Movement. And, you know, she empowers people, and, you know, she teaches people to love the skin they're in, to just get up and dance and do what you love. And, you know, there's so many people who have issues with body image, and she spends a lot of time, you know, reaching out to people and showing them a different way of viewing your body, and to come together and just to be authentic and creative and to have as much fun as possible. And, you know, there's so many people who have these self-image problems with their body. You know, it's unfortunately, it impacts not only women, but men, you know, who have negative or distorted body images. And a lot of times too, that, you know, stops you and hinders you from loving yourself, because if you don't love yourself, then, you know, that's a big problem. And I have her actually calling in right now. Hello?
Making my call now. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Misty. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you on today. And I was just telling the listeners a little bit about your background. So for people who don't know anything about you, you know, please share with them, you know, what you do and how you started this movement. So amazing.
Well, introduced me already. My name is Misty. I am the founder of the World Groove Movement, which is movement of these really fun, awesome dance sports experience all around the world. We're in over 20 countries, and it's basically we get people together. It's a group dance experience that allows people to connect, to unite, but yet be completely creative and authentically themselves. And this all kind of came about because through my own personal journey, this group method that I developed was what healed my life. And now what I share with the world, but I was living in Los Angeles. I was severely bulimic. I was, living that kind of life everyone was trying to live, to be perfect and pretty and please everyone and do all the right things and have the right car and live in the right apartment and, you know, try to be pretty all the time. And it was killing me, literally. And then when I started to let all that go and began to meditate, and I started to let myself just dance the way I wanted to dance and what felt good to my body, and it developed very quickly into this method. And once that happened, I got signed with Nike. I started traveling the world as a Nike athlete, and it just exploded. And now the World Groove Movement is all around the world, and I've got trainers that provide this experience for people to come together and feel what that feels like, to move their body in a way that feels really, really good and not try to be like anyone else. It's been an awesome journey.
Yeah, so amazing. You know, I love that you say that, everyone needs to, be authentic and love the skin you're in. I love that, because I'm sure, like, going through, I know that you said you live in Los Angeles, and it is tough. You know, people compare themselves to other people and they try to be like other people.
Yeah, well, you can't get around it, unfortunately. It's like, even though after 10 years of education and, I have daily practices, like television, I don't do magazines, I don't do anything that puts these images of that I'm not enough or I'm not good enough or that I don't have enough. I really protect my space. But when I travel, like I live in Mexico, I just was in Los Angeles. And after being in LA, even for a day or 2 days, with my practices and being a warrior for truth, I still start to feel bad about myself because I feel like, oh my God, I don't have enough. I'm not enough. My body's not perfect. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not wealthy enough. I haven't accomplished enough. And it's all just a big lie. Like, but it's hard to free yourself from it because it's everywhere you look. It's on the internet. It's on Facebook. It's on everywhere you look. Everything is to show you that you're not enough, because if you're not enough, then they have something to sell you. Now you're broken, and now we've got to fix you. So that's how they sell you products, is they feel like you're broken and not enough, and you don't. So, you have to be a warrior, literally a warrior for your life, to actually ask that not enoughness, and that you move is perfect, the way that you want to do things the right way, and the way you look is the way you're supposed to look. Perfect body people, it's not real. It's not real.
No,
It'll kill you if you try to pursue it.
And, that's so true. And, I see that all the time too. People, we were all created unique. We all have individual fingerprints no one is alike. And we all have everyone has different gifts and talents. And, it is sad that, the media, throws so much at everyone. You see it on billboards, you see it in magazines, on TV, radio. People are constantly trying to be like somebody else. They think that if only I had that body, if only I had, that girl's hair or that guy's suit, whatever it is, and then I'll be happy. But, you have to be happy with who you are.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this is when I came to when I looked at my own life, I didn't know one woman that actually liked her, actually was okay with her body, was okay with who she was. Everyone was on a diet or complaining about, I'm not, just the insecurity levels were so high. Right, this isn't, wait a minute. Like, and when I really started to, my awareness, it was like, I was not born to hate myself. I wasn't born to obsess about my body. I wasn't born. But we're taught these things, not actually taught basic human skills on how we actually deal with the outside world. Process it. It's supposed to be like my method, this groove method that this dance experience is based off of, is based off 5 simple fundamentals. The foundation of the dance first is, no one cares what you look like. Actually, really don't. Looking at you, like they really are. If you care, it's their problem. It's their, they're wasting their own time. But no one's actually really about you or worried about you. Cares what you look like. And we just script our lives and perfect for everyone. That's the first one, is that that's where we say, hey, look, dance. We truly dance like no one cares, because no one actually does care.
Love that. I love that. Yes. And so true. I love there's a something that I read not too long ago that says dance like no one's looking, just, and I love that. And I love that that's part of your method. So tell us some more.
I understand the simple truth, and that was the one simple truth that hit me 10 years ago. That hit me so hard because I realized I was trying to fit in. And when I realized I don't care anymore, I'm just going to do it my way, and I don't care what anyone says. I need instead of expecting someone's approval to make me happy. And hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. Okay, so the second truth is that you are unique. You are a unique individual. There's 7 point whatever billion different people on the world. All unique. We all got similarities. We all have these human characteristics. But we're all unique and absolutely different. Understand that don't copy anyone. Copying is copying. Be an originator, not a duplicator. That's what we teach on the dance floor. Originate. Move the way your body wants to move. And the third truth is that when you do something your own way, like when you move your body your own authentic way, it is actually the right way. It's perfect. So don't copy, don't follow. Just allow your body or your life or whatever it is you want to do in your own expression. expression your way and trust that your way is the right way. And the fourth one is no one can do it for you. No one's going to dance for you. No one's going to be happy for you. No one's going to live your dreams for you. No one's going to do anything for you. Ultimately, that we have to ultimately all stand on our warrior and champion for our own lives. And the fifth truth, the final truth, is that those four other things are good ideas when you put them into practice. You don't understand anything when you actually apply it. And so the group dance floor is a place where you get to apply and practice those truths real time, in the moment. It's mind-blowing what it does to people when they wake up, literally just in the middle of just doing a little wiggle with their butt. And they're like, oh my God, this is the first time I've allowed myself to be authentic and creative and myself fearlessly without, worrying about what someone thinks about it or judgment. And I'm not even judging myself. Like, oh, this is the way I'm supposed to do it. And it's cool and it's okay and it's different. So that's been my mission in the last 10 years. I'm, working to get people together and give them permission to literally liberate their minds from their own prison of worried about, oh my God, I have to look right and I have to be pretty and I have to be thin. And which for me, you have no power. You are not in your power. So I'd love to help people get power.
That is so amazing. I just thought of something while you were saying that. I love to watch little kids because they don't care if anyone's watching them. If you go to a party and there's music and they start dancing, they do their own thing, and sad that as we grew older, we started caring what other people thought of us. We started looking around saying, oh my gosh, I shouldn't move this way. I shouldn't do that. But, it's so great that, the people that, that are involved in your movement, that they can do that. It's like going back to being yourself,
And that's the greatest gift you can give anyone. Like what you just said is so true. Watch babies, they dance before they walk. Like we literally are born to dance. Put music on with children, stop them from dancing. You don't have to teach them. They'll just do it. That's how we actually naturally are. But unfortunately, like you said, we get older and we get self-conscious and someone tries to teach you how to dance and you were coordinated, so you said, well, I can't dance, or you don't feel like you're rhythmic, or you compare yourself to those that are supposedly good dancers. But we're all good dancers. Do it your own authentic way. It is our most natural form of movement. When you reconnect to it, it's different than any other thing. It's different than, painting or any other form of art. Because our physical needs, these bodies that we live in, if you look at them, we are literally born to create our limbs, the way that we are. Unfortunately, that fear of embarrassment or that fear of getting it wrong, which is literally equal to the fear of death. Most people, the fear of embarrassment is equal to the fear of death, will restrict them. The day they die, they literally will never allow their body and experience what it feels like to come alive at a level beyond what they can ever imagine. And it's as simple as putting some music on, letting yourself dance just to feel good. Let your body feel good. You're there to do it by, start by yourself. Put music on and just in the comfort of your own home and give yourself permission to wild and crazy, set yourself free. Do that and flex that muscle. It will actually start to transform areas of your life, into your relationships, into your work, into everything else. That you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's so true. That's a great point. It's funny you say that because what I do when I wake up in the morning is the first thing I do is I put on music and I dance. That's how I start my day. And, there's time. Yeah, and there's times when, something's happened and I haven't been able to do that. oh my goodness, I feel like I'm missing something when, I'm not starting my day like that. And, what I do also for exercise is I dance. I'll put on music for like an hour after I come home from work, and I'll just dance, and I always tell people, you can't be dancing and feel depressed or unhappy. It automatically lifts your mood. You automatically go into this happy place, and you just feel good. It's incredible.
It's true medicine for the soul. Because you forget your name, you forget your problems, you forget, like you literally, like you said, you just go into this state of joy, and you're not really thinking. And if you do think, which I think is amazing, probably experience it too, and why when you don't dance, because when you dance, you are tapping into your creative energy. Creativity is the force of the universe. Creativity is what's creating everything. Whatever it is creative. Are part of that. And when you dance, actually tune into your own creativity. And so you literally start to get clarity on things. Like I know when I dance, it answers these problems. I get guidance on what I'm next, and it becomes very clear and really like a peaceful knowing of what I'm supposed to do. Because dancing all that clutter out of my chaos and the worry and the stress and the, it's just you get to go to another place, and what I call like what you call the top place, and it's a fabulous place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually, since I'm a life coach, I've actually recommended this to people who are going through tough times, or they're having stress in their life. If you just put on music and you start dancing, like you said, solutions come, you open up your creativity, you go into this different place, and it really does help you. And people think, God, that sounds so weird, but it's those little simple things that, will cause something like that to, shift you to a different mood. You change your energy. When you do that, you completely go into a different energy. And when you change your energy from negative to positive, then that's when things happen. Things change.
Totally. And dance, this is what's so cool for all your listeners out there. Dance does not require any skill whatsoever. You don't have to know anything. You can have 4 lessons. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how your body wants. The key is just to allow it to move the way it wants to. Like put your favorite music on and just see what happens. Like let your body, and let it be weird. Let it be crazy. Let it not make sense. It's completely stupid. Who cares?
You're right.
And when you do that, you'll blow your own mind. You'll actually surprise yourself at what you can actually experience, like we were saying, like clarity and inspiration and knowingness. And not just that, but you start to develop this muscle of courage of being authentic and like bold. And you don't have to have any knowledge. This is it's just simple as take the music you love and see what happens.
That's great advice, because, the funny thing has happened to me when I love dancing since I was a little girl. And, one time, I met this girl who was she was studying ballet, and she said, she didn't want to do ballet because, she was afraid to be compared to the other girls who were good. And she had a teacher that said to her, really, take notice of your body, how it moves. Everyone has different movements. You create your own awareness of, your own body, and that you can move it whichever way you want. Our bodies are amazing. They can move, and they can, bend and twist in so many different ways that, it blows us away. We could be blown away. You look at gymnasts, you look at other people who, do these different types of sports. Our bodies are amazing. They are amazing.
Don't compare how you move and looks like the next or music in your left hand. Maybe you're not supposed to. Not perfect.
No, we're not perfect. No. You're cutting. You're cutting out a little bit. Are you there? Hello, Misty? I think we got a bad signal. I can't hear you anymore. Anyway, she's right. We can't compare ourselves to anyone. Everyone's body is unique. We're all different. And, I think we just lost her. She'll call back. But, she makes a great point that, we can't compare ourselves. We're all unique. And, if you have a negative body image, all it does is hinders you. So, you have to choose to be, free and don't worry about what anyone thinks of you. And if you out and do something and someone is judging you, and that's their problem. It's not, like she said, it's not about you. So, it's really important that you choose. Hold on a second. Here she is. Hello?
Hi, sorry about that.
It's okay. I was just reiterating what you said about, don't compare yourself to anyone. Everyone is unique, and what you said is so valid. And I'm going to ask you, because you went through the body image issues. You had bulimia. Now I know that when people have these type of eating disorders, it really does impact your body image. So it's like one of the hardest things I think people go through.
Well, what's interesting is it's not just bulimia. Bulimia is one expression of what I realized, because I love Los Angeles classes a week, everything from Pilates and yoga, and spinning, and boxing, and aqua. And I was teaching everything. And at the same time, like I said, I was bulimic growing up 3 and 4 days, literally to the point that I almost killed myself. And that was my expression of this dysfunction of that I'm not okay with my body. My body is not. What I realized in the industry that I'm in, and when I would teach all my classes, when I looked out to my classes, all the women in my class were dealing with the same thing, but it was all expressing itself in a way. People have exercise. If you obsess about calories, if you obsess about any of this stuff, it's not normal. That's not right. We're not supposed to obsess about our bodies. We're not supposed to obsess about, every little calorie that goes into our body, or the fat, or the sugar, or the. But that's not a quality of life. That's an obsession. And, anorexia, and there's lots of different expressions of it. But ultimately, it's life. And it's not the way, and I know for sure, it me was that I know I was not born obsessed about calories and obsessed about my weight and my body. I wasn't. I know I wasn't. Powerful human being do a lot more than worry about the size of my ass. And what a waste of time. But this goes on to a little bit deep subject, is that in the system, women are so powerful, but if you keep them small-minded, worrying about stupid stuff that doesn't matter, like the size of, then you weaken them, they don't stand in their power, and then they can be sold, manipulated. Where we as women, once you realize this, you're like, oh, where am I spending? What am I worried about? Because what we don't realize in unconsciously is that we think that beautiful is love. Because if we're beautiful, that means we are worthy of love. If we're not beautiful, we are not worthy of love. It's very deeply, deeply rooted into our unconscious. But that's really what drives most of us, because it all equates to love, because we will die without love. So if we feel like we're pretty, we're going to get lots of love. We're worthy of it, if we deserve it. But if we're not pretty, we don't feel like we deserve love. So it goes into such a deep-rooted psychological, and it creates these behaviors of women that, you can just look out. We're obsessed about our looks. We are obsessed about our bodies. And it's an absolute waste of time. And every person has to come to that awakening on their own, but you have to see it. Like, I realized I was just wasting life away. And I realized when I woke up in that one first truth, no one actually cared. And the people that do care about me don't care about that. They don't care what I look like. The people that actually love me don't care what I look like. So who am I trying to impress? To the am I trying to actually get? Because and then when I realized I don't need the attention of people that don't care about me. People that care about me love me whether I'm, 200 pounds or 150 pounds. They're going to love me no matter what. They want me to be happy and healthy and vibrant. They're not worried that, I've got pretty face. So this is what we as individuals, it's mostly, I'm a woman, so I deal with it from a woman's perspective, but I know men now deal with it because men, are now used to the billboards of all the hot men now. Now they have to be hot and sexy too, because they're not worthy of all the hot women if they're not. So they're dealing with the same. Just small-minded. It's away from our power. And that's why this message hopes to connect you back to the truth so that you can actually experience it physically and viscerally.
Yeah, that's so great. I love that you say that because, it's true, it's like everywhere you see, we're obsessed with looks. We're obsessed with beauty. And, it's so true what you said about, people think if I'm beautiful, then I'll get loved. And, one of the things that I noticed, is that a lot of times that, even as a little kid, people will say, oh, you're so pretty or you're so beautiful. And they don't acknowledge the little girls being intelligent or, acknowledge any other of their, like you said, their power. So I think that it starts when they're little. It starts when you're little. And that's, unfortunate. It really is.
Well, totally, because we live in a society that places all the value on your value, in this, of Hollywood and all that stuff. It is purely what you look like. They show you that everywhere you look, everywhere you see. Like, it's all about how pretty you are and how, like, whoa, we're off course here. Like, that's what you say, just stop it, turn it all off and just dance. Turn that to your height. The truth is, none of those things matter. And, I'm 46 now, and so I'm getting older, and it's interesting because, I can say this, but I also, I feel like I'm a fairly attractive person, so it's like, oh, you can say that, but now that I'm getting older, that beauty that I had when I was younger is fading. It's like, oh, I even put some value on that, and now it's like I have to reconnect constantly with, it's not my value. Not my value. My body is not capacity to create and to inspire and so many other things that have such a value than this body that's temporary, that has an expiration date. And this is what everyone needs to remember. Are all programmed to expire. We don't know when that's going to happen, how have this beautiful meat suit, whatever it looks like, whatever you were born with, you didn't, it was given to you by your parents, you didn't, choose what your color of your hair was going to be, or, the size of your nose, that is genetic. You were born into this meat suit, and it's miraculous in what it can do, what it is capable of. And I also believe that this meat suit is sensorized. It is built for pleasure. It's built for fun. It's built for play. It's built to enjoy. And unfortunately, when you get into this obsession with body and look, all of this, you're not in your joy, not in your happiness, not in the fun of what your body actually has. And I know for me that I'm not worrying about the body and actually how much fun can I healthy way, like fun in this meat, really enjoy it. I've never been in better shape my whole life. I don't even try. I don't have to try. This is the key. If anyone out there, if you work inward, outward, work really hard physically and go to the gym and do sit-ups and push-ups and try to make your body super sexy and hot, and you're going to work your ass exhausted, and it's not. But if you actually start practices like meditation, start to value yourself, start to dance, and you start to do things that make you light up and make you excited and happy, vibration goes up. You don't want to abuse yourself. Outside you see all these photos and you're like, I just have to have a perfect body, and you go and you pummel yourself and hurt yourself in the quest of, and you even see it all over the place, all over Facebook, everywhere. It's like, no gain, no gain, and those that don't work hard don't get anything, and this brain that they program us to think that work hard and it's a question we have to have. I just think for that. Don't buy into that bullshit. Not true. It's not true. Like, we're trying to love ourselves. It's taken me years to love myself. But what I did is I started by, I would ask myself every day when I woke up, how would it be nice to myself? What would I do? How would this be nice? What would that look like? I know how to be nice. I know what that looks like. But to love myself is all swallow. Those of you that are out there, ask yourself every day. And I deserve my own compassion. Because most of us are so mean to ourselves. And what we, the words and the thoughts, and we are our worst critic and our worst, we just beat ourselves up daily. And if you could just stop that voice and just quiet it a bit and just, whoa, wait a minute. It's not even true. What's something I could say something nice? Like if you mess up on something, for example. Say you did something wrong. Then you start beating yourself. Oh, crap, I did that again. So, like, why do I say those things? Instead of that, just flip the script and retrain your brain and create your neural pathways. I'm not really happy that I'm so glad that I learned. Next time I'm learn to talk to yourself in a positive way. Pat yourself on the back and lift yourself up and go forward. And that is huge. Change your mental pattern. Wow. And learn to be. Wow.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's what I tell people too, because we can be our own worst enemy. We beat ourselves up in our head and then we, excuse me, and then we create this, whole story about ourselves in our head that isn't even true. Beating ourselves up and telling us I know for myself when I was younger, I would say to myself, oh my God, why did you do that? That was stupid, and all this mental chatter, like you said, it doesn't do anyone any good. And all it does is it brings you down and you're not loving yourself. And I think that's like you said, it's so key, this chatter in your head. Now, how did you get a hold of that? Because like for myself, I started noticing it, and as soon as I caught myself saying it, I would say, nope, that's my sabotager. I'm not going there. I'm not allowing it, and I started catching it and I say, nope. And I would, like you said, I started being kind to myself and turning things around. So, what did you do with that?
Well, the first thing was, I started to meditate. My own, not my thoughts, what happened. So I started to ask myself, well, witnessing the thoughts are happening, watching the thoughts, and then I realized, oh, that's who I am. I'm not my thoughts. I can just witness. Real, they're not even true. My ego is my sabotage is always trying to put me down, keep me low, and so the first step is just the awareness of that voice and that conversation happening in your head. And to just witness it and be present with it. And don't judge it, just be like, oh wow, look at my thoughts just going. Look at me go. Laugh at myself. Like, are you serious? Like, look at you saying that to yourself again. And then I would sit and I like the work, I don't know if you've ever heard of Byron Katie, but I love the work of Byron Katie. It's called The Work, where you actually question your thoughts. Actually sit with your thoughts. Anything that causes you stress, ask yourself, like, wow, like, is that actually true? Is that absolutely true? And then the next question that I love, she asked me, she's like, when you think that thought, because you're not dealing with what's happening in your life, you're only dealing with thinking about it. All you ever are dealing with is thoughts. Thoughts create the emotion. So if you understand that and you're looking at your thoughts, you're like, so if I think the world sucks and and life is hard. Life is hard. And that I've been given. Life's hard and you have to work hard to get money. So let's just take that thought. And that stresses me out, thinking that I have to work hard to get something. So is that true? And can I absolutely know that that's true, that I have to work hard to get something? And it's like, actually, no. I don't know that that's absolutely true. That's just what I've been told. And then if I sit with how do I feel, or what do I think, what happens to me inside when I think thoughts, I have to work really hard to get it. Well, I get all tense, like I'm not enough, feel like I'm never going to be able to work that hard, exhausted already just thinking about it. I'm not positive. Fourth question about the work and what would you be if you couldn't think that thought? How would you show up? What would happen inside of you? That thought wasn't even possible. Like, you have to work hard. Oh my God, I'd be free. I'd feel like life is easy. Go with the flow, and my inner world would be more at peace. Try so hard. So this is just one little tool, and so that's a tool that I personally use. Super effective, really easy to use. So anyone that's listening, look, Byron Katie, you're struggling with that mental self-chatter that's bringing you to a downward spiral. Because the work is simple, it's easy, it's practical, and it's effective, and you get results instantly when you start to tell yourself the truth. Like you said, you learn to turn off the sabotager when you realize the sabotager is just lying to you.
You make such a good point. I love how you explain everything. It's so true. And, that I think if people could get a hold of that, that would be such a turnaround for their life, because I know for myself, growing up, like you, I suffered from an eating disorder. I was anorexic, and, I was always worried about, what people thought of me, and I was a people pleaser. I was a people pleaser, and oh my gosh, that just created so much havoc in my life. You can't please everyone. There's no way you'll die trying, and that's, I admire you that, you did all these steps, and like, I completely agree with you. I know I started meditating years ago, and I think, so many people don't realize the benefits of meditating. Meditating I was just explaining to somebody just yesterday that they should start meditating because they're going through a very stressful time in their life. And, they, like you said, they beat themselves up with their thoughts. And, do you have, specific meditations that you do that you can, recommend?
Actually, yes. I've got lots of them. I love, just Vipassana. If someone wants to get into just, this is the thing, is that people don't meditate because they think they're bad at it, or they can't do it, or it's too out there. And I want people to know that everybody feels it. The moment you close your eyes, the moment you try to get still, the mind just goes crazy. Like, I can't do this. Stop when you think you're bad at it. But that's the whole point. We're all bad at it. No one starts out as a good. Nothing is a little interesting thing to practice. What I recommend for people, where I started, I didn't know. I would just sit down in the morning and sit for a moment, and I would just relax my body as deeply as I could, get possibly can, like all movement, except for your breath, and just notice the movement. And then just give yourself a minute just to witness what's there with no judgment. And if you want to, like, some people like guided meditation, go to YouTube. You can find tons of guided meditations, inspirational meditation. I think it's whatever resonates with you. If you want guided meditation, offer guided meditations, go to theworldgroovesmovement.com and find out. I post once every 3 months. It's completely free, and so they could get access to those. And I do it really real. I'm a real, like, raw, real kind of or airy fairy. I'm pretty straight up and direct. So people that like that approach to meditation and the straightforward approach to their own consciousness, and they'll resonate with what I do. That's kind of, I think the first act is or set the timer for 1 minute. 1 minute, start with one breath. Give yourself an awareness of just one breath, to just be present with yourself and to just breathe and to just witness what's there. What I love is the guy that wrote The Power of Eckhart Tolle.
Oh, yeah.
I love what he said. Eckhart Tolle is amazing. He said something to me that in my meditations really connects me to the energy that animates me very, very quickly. Is I sit and I just feel the aliveness, just to see if I can sense the aliveness in my head. And that's because your mind can only think one thought at a time. Give it something to chew on. Give it something to focus on. It's not going to think about the bills and the body and the this and the work stress and the conversation and all that. It can only think one thought at a time. You are the master of your mind. But it starts by one moment at a time. Learning to focus it. Learning to direct it. You get to choose what you want to focus on. You're the master of your mind. Your mind, don't let your mind master. All other ancient cultures knew that our mind was a tool. Most of us, especially culture, we let our mind tool us. Actually, can you use the tool and go, wait a minute, no, I can use one. Perfect example to let you know just how powerful that your body doesn't know the difference. When you think a thought, your body does not know the difference. Your mind is so powerful, and you can make. There's a psychologist out of. If anyone out there in the audience wants to look up, she's an amazing psychologist that helps lots of people. A little activity came to her, which is if you're at home right now, just sit there, close your eyes, a couple breaths, fully relax, and I want you to envision a bright yellow lemon. Just imagine, use your mind's eyes with your imagination, bright yellow lemon in your hand. Fresh juice. And I want you to imagine that you just bite of that lemon. I want you to chew it up in your mouth. Chew it up, let all fill all of it, feel that. See what happens now. How you respond. If most people will probably feel like, oh my God, I just started salivating, and every system of your body goes in. All you did was think about it. It's not even real. It's thought. So if you're at home, open your start to understand the power of your mind. It will change everything. It will change everything. You can direct it. You can focus it. You can choose what you want to think. And once you do that, you can master your life. You can create anything you want. But the first step really is getting really clear with what you're thinking. What do you want? I now choose when I choose. I used to just be the witness, and I can witness it. But now what I like to do is that I'm going to choose. I'm going to be the director of my life. I'm not going to just be at the whim. I get to direct what I want to do and how I want to live and how I want to feel, what I want to think. And we all have this power. I'm not different than anyone. Just when you understand, you get really real with yourself, that you are not a victim and that you have a good mind in that head. You are given a brain that works, that functions, and its job is to process information. But unfortunately, we believe the weird lies that it tells. Its job is just to process information. So if I can get people to that point, and that's why I also beyond dance work, creativity, and their intuition and their authenticity. But I've also realized it's not just with that. There's all these other elements, and that's why I've created meditations and workshops and retreats and other things to help people get to that place and practice these skills so that they can, in their own unique way, not my way. And this is the thing, it's never about following my way, ever. Anyone to do that. What I like to do is help people find their own authentic path to their own vibrant health and their own happiness, and write that script for themselves. It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, so wonderful. You touched on so many important things, and oh my God, I just love the way that you explained all that. I couldn't have done a better job. Oh my God, because it's the same thing, the same thing that I practice, and I try to explain it to people, but oh my God, you did it so eloquently. Wow. You know,
Thank you.
I just love that because you know what, just like you said, it's, you're the director, you're the creator, you get to choose what you're going to think. Every day I wake up and I say, I'm going to have an awesome day. And guess what happens? I have an awesome day. I say everything's going to go well. I'm always on time. I always create what I want my day to be like. And it actually, that's what happens. And,
Yep.
and
And you get to witness byproduct.
yeah, you do. And it's like so incredible how those little things, completely make a big difference in your life. And, I love how you tie everything into, your dance and the movement and being free and just being authentic. And that is just so refreshing. Everyone needs to learn how to be authentic. And, I love that, that message, have. It's amazing. How come I didn't hear about this when I was younger?
Well, it's exactly. I'm like, God, why did we all, that's what I mean. We're simple, easy, practical things that help us to be creative, authentic, wildly free, express beings that we're supposed to be. We're born free. Like, this is the way we're supposed to be. And we can cage ourselves, and we don't even realize that the cage isn't locked. It's not locked. Even through, like, for me, that gift of authenticity is like, not that everybody needs to. My thing is, I wish that upon everybody, the delicious nectar of allowing themselves to be authentically themselves, fearlessly, knowing that when they do that, they will live their greatest life. They will achieve their greatest abundance. They will have their greatest joy. So it's the, what's his name that said it, follow your bliss.
Oh, Wayne Dyer?
Yes, and it's so true. Mm-hmm. The things that make you happy is like the yellow brick road to heaven. Follow the little breadcrumbs of joy and the things that make you light up. And don't even worry about the stuff that doesn't all go. We're afraid of hurting people's feelings, or, we're trying to please everyone. But if there's people in your life that bring you down, just release that. Just like, why waste your time? Your life is so precious. You do not know how much time you actually have. You really don't. And who are you spending it with? How are you spending it? How do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? It's really up to you. And I will say this over and over, you're not a victim. And every single person at some point in time needs to take full responsibility for their life, for their work, for their happiness, for their relationships, for their pain, for their anything. We are not victims, and we need to stand and take responsibility and realize that we can think what we want, create what we want. All those days, I'm like you, when I get up in the morning, I love to, it's not even affirmations, because I felt like I was always trying to convince myself of something, but what I like to say is stuff like, it feels so good to be surrounded by amazing people that support me. It feels so good, and I get to sit with how good that actually feels. And I generate the feelings. And so people at home, if you want to create any life you want, you have to match the feeling with the emotion and the thought and the imagination. You've got to visualize it, but you have to feel it. That is the language of the universe, the frequency of emotion. And it is so powerful, but you have to generate how good it feels and spend time every day sitting with the feel-good feelings of how you want to feel in your life. Sometimes I'll just sit and be like, oh my God, it feels so good to feel good. And the more I do that, the more I feel good. And then the more I feel good, and the more I feel good. I did not realize I could feel this good. 5 years ago, I was depressed and sad and disappointed with life, and, broke up. His boyfriend cheated on me, and it was just all this stuff. And I was just like feeling sorry for myself. And wah, life sucks, and why me, and poor me. Then I just woke up and I was like, wait a minute. How long am I going to tell this story? How long am I going to tell the story and waste my time when I'm here to have a good time? Like, look up, look at the trees, look at what's around you, look at this amazing planet that we're on that literally is heaven, because you couldn't think of a place more majestic than the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Like, think of anywhere you'd want to live. Mars, Saturn, Venus. Is there anywhere? No.
No.
Planet Earth is heaven right now, and we create heaven in the moment by what we think. Period. It's heaven or hell by what you think. And it's literally created in the moment, and we live in heaven, and you can choose to tap into it and realize that well-being is the nature of reality. You look out and you look how nature just renews itself and just replenishes itself and just gives and gives and gives and renews and gives, and it's endless and it's effortless. We're part of that, but yet we feel like we have to toil and struggle and strain. And no. Nature doesn't toil, struggle, and strain. It just does what it needs to do, and it renews itself and it gives. I love it when I walk and I see a plant breaking through cement on the sidewalk. But it will literally break through the cement, just like it's that powerful. It's gonna find a way, and it just blows my mind. And that we need and we can tap into the well-being of the world and not buy into that everything's falling apart and it's all terrible. We've been saying that stuff for ever.
I know.
Stop
right?
saying it. It's like nothing. It's never been better. It's never been better, and that's my attitude. It's never been better. It's never been better, and it just keeps getting better. And, people can buy into the stuff that's happening and politically and whatever, but at the end of the day, if you sit in the actual moment right now, this very moment, if you all sit with right now, you're okay. Right now, the reality is you don't think the thoughts and you just sit with the presence of your own breath. It's delicious. Life is delicious. And it happens in the moment, not in your thoughts and worries and fears about the past or the future. It's now. And it's just tuning into the now with your breath and going, hey, actually, my worst fear is just a fear. I'm okay. I'm just here right now and all is good. Like, it's my fear that cripples me. And the fear isn't even real.
Yeah, that's true. I love that. I have this thing that, I read years and years ago is that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. It's not even real. It doesn't exist.
It's not even real. Nope. And as bad as you think things are going to be, nothing's ever been what you thought it was going to be, ever. Okay. It's like, we just build these stories in our mind, and it's like, that's the dream, that's the illusion. We're stuck in this dream, and the dream of these images and thoughts in our minds that aren't even real. When you tap into the present moment of now, you just open your eyes and you wake up and you breathe. You're like, wow, I'm okay. All is good. Wow. All of that other stuff is just images in my mind. I'm in a dream. I'm literally sleepwalking. Holy cow. Like, this is a dream. I'm walking in a dream. But it's all in your mind. And then you wake up to that and you realize, wow, I can actually dream any dream I want. And I don't have to believe those images that come through my mind of, life is hard or, whatever it might be. And just all the stories we know, like each person from your childhood, you were told something and we live our lives by what we're born into, and it's a little different for everybody. We have common denominators because, if we live in the same country or, we all live in a political environment. We all live in that. But it's like, you know what? Everything's fine. We're all fine.
I agree.
Don't take action. But we're all fine. If you breathe into this moment right here, right now, you're okay.
Absolutely true. Now, for people who want to get a hold of you, Misty, what's the best way to get a hold of you? And excuse me, if they're interested in your events and what you have to offer, what is the best way for them to get a hold of you?
The best way is to actually go to the worldgroovemovement.com. There you can connect through me, Misty Tripoli. You'll find my web pages through there if you want to find more about me and my story. But the World Groove Movement is the movement. It's what we're creating across the world. You can also sign up for the newsletter and get all the information about what we're doing in the world and the meditations that are free. But if you want to get your groove on at home and you want to just start dancing and you're like, I'm afraid to do this on my own, I still feel really stupid, I have an at-home dance product. It's called Body Groove. And you can go to bodygroove.com and you can get your groove on at home by yourself and just at least start the process of at least starting to flex that muscle of feeling good in your body and treating your body nicely and being creative and authentic and with yourself. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. But if you start with the World Groove Movement, you'll end up finding all my stuff.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you on. And oh my gosh, I just love your message. And I'm going to check out your website. And so I'm going to post all the links to Misty's information on the show. So you'll have all the links. And, for those of you who are listening and you want to get a hold of her, like she said, go to the website and you will be able to find all her information. And thank you so much, Misty. And I'm just so excited that you were on the show. And I love the message. And, I'm excited to, do what I'm going to start moving more often than I do now.
Janet, thank you so much for having me. It's been a great conversation. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with your audience. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. And have fun in Cancun. I know it's beautiful there, so enjoy the weather and the scenery.
Oh, I will. Thank you, and you take care.
Thank you. You too. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Well, everyone, that was Misty. And oh, my gosh, what a wealth of knowledge she has. And the way that she puts things was so eloquent. And, it's so true that what she said. And, I hope that you have learned some things from this conversation and that you'll take to heart what she said. So please check her out and join us next Monday night, 9 p.m. for Embrace Your Power. Good night, everyone.